Right, we should be going live to probably no one, actually.
Most likely. Well, apparently there's like 4 viewers, but I don't believe that.
You never know.
No one exists.
You
No one
never
exists.
know.
Indeed.
No broadcaster, because we're not listening to Shiva. For the love of God, we're not listening to Shiva right now.
Only we had Korean shoutcast.
Oh, if only. If only. So hello and welcome everybody who is a Dota fan here watching Starladder with us at Sprint Dota. It's me, Nuff, and I'm joined by Iggy.
Hello.
And today we're watching Menace versus Poseidon. Of course, Menace is a Finnish team where they were called Rat in the Dark before being picked up.
I was going to say, formerly Rat in the Dark here, and Poseidon, interestingly enough, have the majority of VP on their team right now.
Yeah, they picked up 3 members from Virtus Pro, or the Virtus Pro that went to TI3 at least.
Indeed.
And got routinely kicked out very shortly after it.
I think, no, did they get no wins or 1 win? I can't remember.
I didn't actually follow VP, I'll be honest. I didn't follow. But we'll watch these bans out at the moment anyway. Poseidon going for the Batride and Wisp ban out, and OD and Nature's Prophet being banned out by Menace.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Poseidon's first major tournament showing, and I think this is kind of more of a collaboration of friends which have now left VP. So, and of course, Rat in the Dark, this is their first, well, Team Menace even.
10 seconds
this is their first big tournament. I mean, they generally didn't accomplish that much beforehand, but they did receive a kind of miraculous win against Alliance quite a while ago. So, they've definitely got it. I mean, they've definitely got it in them to take this.
Yeah, we know you're a big fanboy of the Finnish.
Mm-hmm.
So you're firmly behind Team Menace, but I'm going to probably give it to
I got my Raz on them.
You got your Raz on them because you're crazy, but I'm probably going to go ahead and put my money down on Poseidon.
Menace are probably gonna lose.
I think the experience that comes with the TI3 members, it's going to definitely be good for them. But this Team Menace team's been together quite a long time, so it'll be interesting to see how they pan out. Of course, Team Menace pick up a Visage as their first pick, and Nargasarian being picked up by Poseidon.
It's kind of interesting to see them take Visage right now. I mean, first pick, I mean, we see him a lot, but
5 seconds remaining.
He really needs a decent tri-lane to go around with him, and I honestly think Poseidon are now feeling about picking the Lifestealer almost. I think the Narg was picked up as a counter to it, but they might choose to take it themselves right now.
It might just be because the Nargasarian, of course, we go back to TI here, but she became like probably the support of the tournament.
Indeed.
So she's
Shadow Demon's gone, Naga's in.
Yeah, screw you, Shadow Demon, you smelly shadow poison. We want Nargasarian and her singing. That's what we want.
Indeed. But I don't know. Nargasarian's a good pick. Also, a couple of other top tier picks still left in the pool, such as the Darkseer hanging around. So could always see that.
He's not always that popular, Darkseer. Interestingly.
Weaver.
Weaver's probably going to be their off-laner. I mean, they can run him as a farming carry, but
I think he works pretty damn well as a farming carry. He can deal out a lot of damage on lane, and he can still harass on lane as the main carry, but he suffers in ganks and on the defensive is that he doesn't really have a stun or a disable of any kind, and he's kind of got to rely on the Shikuchi to get out.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the more difficult heroes to pick off unless you're going in prepared. Because Shikuchi not only obviously makes him invisible, but it gives him that maximum move speed. So even with dust on him, it makes no difference.
Well,
you can see it, but it doesn't reduce his...
if you have a Darkseer surging up a Lifestealer after him, for example.
Yeah, possibly, but open wounds isn't going to reduce the movement speed of Shikuchi, so...
No, but it will when he comes out of it.
True, but he's one of the hardest hardest bugs to deal with, I think, without dedicating a lot of resources to doing it. It's very difficult to get a one-on-one kill against a Weaver.
Indeed. We see Visage obviously picked up an awful lot with Lifestealer, so I don't think they're going to go for the Lifestealer still though with the Nargasarian in the pool, because it's just too much of a risk to pick the hero who Nargasarian is the hard counter for, so...
No, but what they have done is picked up a Rubik, which is a great steal, because obviously Nargasarian's ultimate's going to be up for grabs if she's using it to run away with.
Indeed, and I mean Shikuchi is always nice on a Rubik.
Yeah, you can get that Zakushi and use it as an initiation tool a lot of the time.
I'd like to see the ban out. Was this the best of one or best of three?
Best of one.
Best of one.
Best of one.
So,
well, Menace has got a game
no
against a different team straight away afterwards, so
yeah.
it'll be a very quick best of
come
three.
out playing beforehand, so
yeah. Puck being banned out as well. Of course, Puck's silence is a real nuisance to a hero like Weaver, so it's a decent ban out.
Indeed. I mean, we don't actually see that many silencers picked up from the pool. Many heroes with the actual silence. So
no, heroes like Drow Ranger and
Death Prophet
aren't really popular in the meta.
Or Silencer, of course.
Or Silencer. We saw him a couple of times in TI actually.
Oh, we saw Drow Ranger in TI.
Saw everything everything but a Meepo, which is what everyone wanted.
So, Team Menace apparently quite happy to ban out hard carriers right now. They definitely think the Weaver's on the offlane.
Well, looking at it now, Alchemist is still in the pool. Will Poseidon pick up Alchemist and have the Weaver on the offlane just to deny the Alchemist to Menace, perhaps?
Indeed. It's very, very important for Poseidon, though, to not go for too much wombo combo. I mean, the Naga Siren initiation with their ultimate is fantastic, but if you go for those big teamfight ultimates like the Black Hole from Enigma, you're just going to... There's always the opportunity which Menace have. It's just the Rubik sits on the outside of the fight, and then that'll be mine. Thank you. Ooh.
Keeper of the Light's a good backup as well.
It's going to be quite an aggressive tri-lane with the Naga Siren and Keeper of the Light. They're going to really look to keep them hammered back on tower.
It's going to be very difficult to get anywhere near this Weaver if he is going to be their main carry.
But like I said earlier, he's probably going to be on the offlane as is. Although a lot of hard carries have been banned out, so...
It's difficult to say, man. I mean, they first picked Keeper of the Light because they... I don't know if they just want to keep Menace guessing at whether or not the Weaver's going to be the farming carry.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, it's a possibility, but my big issue with Weaver as a true hard carry is that you can't sit in the middle of a fight and take damage in the same way a Lifestealer or an Alchemist can.
It's true. They probably want a front liner.
Yeah, they probably want some form of core. Maybe a Dragon Knight in mid.
Yeah, Dragon Knight in mid would be a reasonably good pickup. There's the Alchemist I mentioned as well, being picked up by Team Menace.
A Dragon Knight in mid would also give them another great option, is that with the Keeper of the Light, with Weaver being able to split push, and of course with Dragon Knight's poison attack on his dragon, that's an awful lot of split push they're going to have in that situation. So I think a Dragon Knight, and that's kind of the theme we see Russian teams go for. Really hard early game aggression, which is strangle the enemy within the first 20 minutes or die trying.
Yeah, diving past towers, which is again another reason why the Weaver's been picked up. But it's true, if they're not going to win it that early on with that, they are going to need a front liner. With Alchemist now on the other team, it is really left to heroes like possibly a Timbersaw mid or a Dragon Knight mid, like you mentioned.
Yeah, very true. It's interesting to see what Team Menace can go for, because they've got their entire tri-lane laid out right now, and just relying on their mid and their offlaner, what do you think they really need in this team right now?
Well, for Menace, a Bounty Hunter offline would be...
Oh, that's just because you love Bounty Hunter,
It's
man.
not, they've got an invisible hero.
Yeah, that's very true. He's fantastic against Weaver. And
not to mention, Bounty Hunter, Alchemist, Grievel's Greed, Track, together, amazing. There's the Dragon Knight. Now they need to pick something in mid that can really punish a Dragon Knight. Puck's already out, but maybe something like a Quap.
Yeah, Queen of Pain will be very
Might be reasonably decent against him. Or they
Queen
could go...
of Pain is also very, very good against a hero like Weaver, because although Weaver's going to have a Lincoln's, you only have one single target ability. The rest of it's just AoEs, and that huge nuke damage up against a Weaver is really, really painful, because he's very, very squishy.
Now that Team Menace know they're going up against a mid that's a melee, they can either go for something that they know can deal with him by like abusing him, or they can go for something else that's a melee themselves, and knowing that they're not going to have to be under all that abuse that you get being against a raid. So I'm thinking possibly picking up a Beastmaster. His passive, along with Alchemist's attack speed, is going to be really good. His single target stun will destroy Weaver.
Well, no, I was about to point that out. If Weaver gets a Lincoln's up nice and early, which he is going to do against a Beastmaster, it's going to be a really big issue. They're going to have to pop the...
He's not going to go alone. And you've got things that can pop it. Visage can pop it with Grave Chill. Rubik can pop it quite easily with his telekinesis. Alchemist can pop it. it's not going to be a problem.
Kind of a waste for the Alchemist to pop it, but...
Well, yeah, but...
I think another good option would be picking up a Tide Hunter right now.
Or a Shadow Fiend.
He is going to punish the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, so they've gone for the let's punish Dragon Knight tactic. To be fair,
Also,
Dragon Knight doesn't
Shadow
really...
Fiend.
Yeah?
Shadow Fiend very, very effective in the kind of mid-game.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see Alchemist go for a much, much later build and see the Rubik in the Visage kind of swap into more of a defensive role on that tri-lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a free farming Alchemist on the safe lane, I imagine. Punishing whatever they pick up as their offlaner.
Well, may even be the Weaver right now, but it's definitely looking like it's more likely to be a farming carry Weaver.
It's going to be interesting to see whether or not they go for the Midas on the Alchemist to make him definitely go super late game, or if they're going to try to get him to peak, or not peak, at least be ready to fight. At the same time, Shadow Fiend is busy doing his thing.
Indeed. It's spending that first 1900 gold on the Midas. It's kind of a risk in a way, because I mean that's nearly 2,000 gold you don't have towards getting an early Shadow Blade, which would allow you to get that critical first Shadow Blade gank off with the Alchemist done. So it's going to be kind of an... I don't know, there's an awful lot of early game push coming out from Poseidon, so I think Alchemist is actually going to be forced to get at least a few levels up in Acid Spray very, very early on.
Well, Lone Druid being banned out and now TA being banned out.
It's kind of an unusual ban actually for the TA. I mean, the TA does punish the Shadow Fiend, and it's possible that Poseidon would have then decided to pick another mid and run Dragon Knight on the off lane, but...
I would have run Dragon Knight in the tri-lane probably with Weaver on the off lane.
Yeah, Weaver on the off lane.
But it's difficult to say. They had the last ban out, but I think they're going to pick up another off laner.
Indeed. Well, I mean, Templar Assassin is very effective at shutting down Shadow Fiend, so I think it's a pretty solid ban.
10 seconds remaining.
I didn't see Team Menace picking up a Lone Druid though.
5 seconds
I think
remaining.
they've already gone... Alchemist, he is the farm king. Shadow Fiend needs a reasonable amount of farms to get started. If you then went for a Lone Druid as well, you're kind of committing yourself to
5 seconds remaining.
You're committing yourself so heavily.
Abaddon. Radiant team pick.
Abaddon off lane, do you reckon?
Off lane, mid, or support. I mean, we could see any of it realistically.
Could go for a Naga as the main character, Weaver off lane, Dragon Knight mid.
I was thinking.
Or we should see an Abaddon off laner.
I like this game now. We've not seen that much of him since he's been added to the game. He's only just been added to Captain's Mode. His Curse of Avernus, his passive ability, is so effective at chasing people down. Because you gave everyone who's attacking the target bonus move speed, bonus attack speed, and you slow the target you're hitting. So this is going to be fantastic.
It's also pretty annoying to kill.
Reserve time.
Let's not forget here is that Rubik and Alchemist both have really, really long stuns which are a pain to deal with. A Prophetic Shield can remove these stuns.
5 seconds
This is going to be Weaver's... Weaver's going to love this.
Clockwork.
You can't disable the Weaver the same way that you normally can if the Prophetic Shield gets put up on him.
That's true, but that means, of course, Abaddon has to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, true, but...
Well, we'll see. It's interesting to see, man. I mean, Abaddon's quite good at pushing early on as well because of the shield, so he adds to the push that they already discussed. And, yeah, he's a little of an unknown quality in competitive, at least. For me, I haven't seen very much of him about, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays up.
It's worth noting that Clockwork is also pretty damn good against the Weaver. If you can land the hook shot and pop your cogs up, that's a disable which you just can't get away from, so...
Yeah. Yeah, pulling some resources for the Weaver here.
So, already seeing a rotation as the jungle right now. It's kind of weird, this is our first proper game we've casted.
That's exciting. I'm just worried that, you know, I haven't turned on my mic or something. And
yeah, I think it's all good.
You can eye on the chat, right? They would tell us, wouldn't they? They'd tell us in the chat.
There's no one in the chat now. I want to point out right now, the Shadow Fiend for Team Menace has been pulled an awful lot of gold. He's got started with a Wraith Band, Healing Salve, Tangos, and 2 branches. So basically all of his regen has been pulled.
Yeah, well, they want to make sure...
5 engagement in the jungle. Good ward up by the Rubik.
Yep, keep legging it, mate.
Well, this is a big issue, is that the best range disable Poseidon actually have is the Naga Siren with the Ensnare, so...
At this
probably
point, at least.
To battle.
Their game plan's really going to hinge on whether or not this Dragon Knight's going to get a decent amount of farm in mid, because you want him getting that Shadow Blade really nice and early so you can start initiating with him.
The Abaddon from Poseidon is currently carrying the ward, so he's going to be on more of a supporty role.
Yeah, that's to be expected. I mean, a poor man's shield's up on the Naga Siren, suggesting she might actually be farming.
The battle begins.
They've actually chosen not to ward the pull-through camp and block it off. This is really unusual.
Well, they're going to go for aggressive try, but look at things. Up against the Alchemist, the Visage, and of course that Rubik when he gets back here.
Indeed. So it's going to be a farming Naga Siren then? Starting with the poor man's shield.
There's a block.
There's the block. To be honest, this is what I've been waiting to see for a long time. Naga Siren is at her heart a carry. She has abilities which lend her to a support, but play her the way she's meant to be played. Just once, please.
Just the once.
Indeed.
Oh well, we'll see how things shape up here. Because there's going to be deaths down here.
I think this Abaddon is actually going to do fantastically down on this tri-lane. If the Alchemist gets that unstable concoction off and they see it land on the Naga Siren, I mean, normally that's a guaranteed kill with a long length concoction, but Prophetic Shield is just going to burn that away instantly, so I don't see many kills actually coming out. Illuminate hitting pretty much everyone besides the Rubik.
Yeah, this is going to really make it difficult for the Alchemist to farm up. Good thing he's quite decent at coming back.
Indeed.
But if they shut him down and get the push they want, but they're built for, it's going to be really difficult for him. He's already had to salve up. It's only a minute 25 in.
Indeed. This is really not a situation you want to be in. That said, I'm pretty sure his supports have plenty of other regen to pull him.
We'll actually go here on this Keep of the Light, but the shield's on him, so... Oh dear,
Yeah,
shield's gone. Solar Shumpson brings him down. Rubik's on the run away from Naga Siren. They should be just fine.
As well.
Yeah, they're going for Abaddon, but they won't be able to get him. TP straight back in from Keeper of the Light, charges up and Illuminate. Oh, and a pause coming out from the Visage.
I think it's worth noting actually is that the Apophatic Shield, in my opinion, was used really, really, really wrong in that situation. Normally you want to pop it after a target's been stunned and not to block the initial stun damage, because you can't remove a stun if it's already on. It removes stuns when it lands.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a misplay there.
Indeed. Well, I mean, they saw the Alchemist charging the unstable concoctions. They knew that they had to get Apophatic Shields up to try and survive through the fight, but just not quite on the right target and not quite quick enough. Not quite at the right time, I don't think.
So Alchemist is in trouble though if he...
No, he's going to get blocked by his own creeps. Oh, he's literally...
Rubik's going to go down. But a good lift by Rubik. Actually might survive. No, Illuminate claims him as well. So it's 1 for 1 on this bottom lane. Of course, first blood going to Menace.
Indeed.
That's got to suck.
That's got to suck indeed, Naga Siren. It's in Invis rune down bot, and it looks like Shadow Fiend's going to find it.
Yeah, we'll see what he does with it. Maybe he'll rotate really early, but... Think about it. But,
probably actually going to look to get some aggression out on the Dragon Knight in mid, I think.
Quite possible.
That said, if he gets in too close with this aggression, he could risk getting stunned up by the Dragon Tail.
Yeah. I mean, Dragon Knight's going to be a little bit safe.
No, he's just going to choose the waste and just farm wide.
Incoming.
Meanwhile, nice fight between Clockwork and Weaver up top at the minute.
Clockwork is actually a really, really effective offlaner versus the Weaver, and this is purely because if you know the Weaver's gone invisible somewhere, well, Rocket Flare's AoE is pretty damn huge, and he's still on the lane somewhere. Just throw it out.
It's not just that. If you can catch him with cogs early on and burn his mana out, he can't Zakushi, so it makes his life really difficult.
Especially as he doesn't really have that much mana. I mean, this Weaver's placed a lot of reliance on
Oh, and Snare goes up on the Visage, and he might be going on him here. Illuminate dodges it with the Grave Chill. Actually, stole enough movement speed from Naga Siren to dodge it. But yeah, it's kind of a standoff at the minute after those initial kills.
Indeed.
They're really aggressive on this Visage. Don't like him.
Well, these are two very, very aggressive tri-lanes, so... I think Visage does need to know that he can't man up on the Naga Siren, though.
Well, she needs to know she can't die with that tart.
She needs to be focused on last hits over all else.
Alchemist's farm has been slowed pretty badly.
Indeed.
He's actually gone for an early fighting build as well.
Assists, so.
Yeah, but he's gone for an early fighting build, which indicates he's probably not going to bother picking up a Midas.
Yeah, if he's gone for an early fighting build, he's looking to peak at around the same time the Shadow Fiend will. And
makes perfect sense. Up comes a stun. Ooh, who are they going to go for? Actually thrown it at Abaddon. He goes down almost instantly. Soul Assumption claiming his life. The snare up on the Rubik. He's almost dead. Going for Keeper of the Light is the Alchemist.
Trying to do some body
Naga's
blocking.
diving really hard here. Couple right clicks still to go, but no. Out comes the Riptide, bringing down the Rubik. And it's a trade. 1-for-1.
Seeing an awful lot of these 1-for-1 trades. I think the big issue in the 1-for-1 trades, though, is that it's only Rubik dying. And if your Rubik keeps dying, then, wow, your Rubik's not going to get an early mid. So,
isn't it the kills always going to Naga? Well, she got one of them. The other kill was Cole.
Visage picking up both the kills for Menace.
Yeah, Visage with gold is good anyway.
Indeed,
Especially,
wow.
and even better if he gets levels from it as well. He has...
Triple done.
He just accidentally bought another wand.
Oh dear.
He just sold it.
What to say? If you hadn't noticed that.
Can never have enough wands, eh?
So Weaver quite comfortably out-farming the Clockwork on this offlane right now.
Well, he's arranged up against the melee. He's going to have the advantage in that respect, at least.
I think this is all due to Clockwork not having a soul ring up yet. It'll be interesting whether he's... Oh no, he's going to choose to go for the
stun
bottom.
up on the Shadow Fiend in mid. It's mostly just going to be harassed at the minute. You won't be able to take him out. Nice chunk of damage, though.
Indeed, and that Corrosive Breath damage over time really does do an awful lot of damage if you just get one attack in. At 20 DPS, so...
Yeah, Shadow Fiend's beating Dragon Knight in mid, but not as hard as you expected him to.
Indeed. There's Soul Ring up on the Naga Siren, so this means you can be using her Riptide purely for last hits right now, and she's actually choosing to max this out, and this is normally what we'd see in a typical Karen Naga build. Max out the Riptide, max out the Mirror Image, then work on Ensnare last.
Oh, this is a really good ward here, actually, by the Dire, I've just noticed. It blocks the camp and gives a really nice view, and it's really hard to de-ward.
Indeed. Pretty good choice, actually.
It's always sad when you see an Alchemist going, I want to farm, but I can't.
Oh, he just can't go on there. I think he needs the Visage and Rubik to make it a little bit... Oh, we've actually seen Shadow Fiend drop off in mid. Don't know that.
I missed that. My bad, everybody. So he died to this Dragon Knight.
I think the Visage was in there as well, and they were looking to get a kill off on the Dragon Knight, but just nothing happened from it.
How do you... Oh, this is going bad. They really wanted the Shadow Fiend to win this lane. And by all accounts, he should be winning the lane against a melee.
Yeah, well...
As far as the lanes go, though, it looks like Poseidon has the edge. I mean, mid's looking like it's going towards the Dragon Knight at this point. He's got that early kill, and he hasn't really taken that much to harass. Weaver's farming pretty bloody well, and Alchemist is being stopped from farming on this aggressive tri-lane, so all the lanes are working out for Poseidon at this point.
All things said and done about this mid lane, I mean, the Dragon Knight does have... Well, he's been choosing to level up Dragon's Blood instead of Dragon Tail to go for that more aggressive frontliner build, but
yeah,
it basically means that all of Shadow Fiend's harass kind of fades into obscurity against it.
To be fair, you never have to really. Gold shield up on Keeper of the Light, but now Visage Soul Assumption pretty much solos the Keeper of the Light. Stun both of them, really good. Cogs come out as well. Fantastic play here by Menace, wiping out that tri-lane, and that's going to give some space finally for the Alchemist to get a little bit of farm.
Indeed. Good rotation there from the Clockwork. Yeah. So he's not been doing that well on the off lane, but he now has 2 kills to his name, so...
Oh, you know, he brings the hook, he brings the cogs, and that's exactly what you need from him. Getting a little bit of no early farm might not be that bad if you get your early level 6.
That said, though, this is basically a free farming Weaver at the minute, and I mean, that's what you want to see from your tri-lane hard carry, so in all essences, it's going to be more like they have 2 farming carries in this game right now.
Yeah. Weaver... The thing with Weaver is, even if he's got free farm, he's still not going to be active as soon as you would get from other heroes.
He can still eat support to be honest.
Yeah, he needs a couple of items. If he's going to go for Lincoln Sphere build as well, you tend to rush it before any damage items, which makes him a little bit weaker early on. I mean, ultimately, he makes him more survivable, which is what you want on a Weaver, because he's not survivable enough as it is.
It'll be interesting to know whether he does choose to go for the Lincoln Sphere or not, though, because I mean, it's going to block the Alchemist stun, it's going to block 2 of his spells, and it's going to drop the Rubik lift, stop the Rubik lift, but It's going to be completely useless against both Clockwork and the Shadow Fiend.
Does it not block the hook shot?
No, it doesn't. It's not a single target ability. It's a point target.
Oh, looks like they might be going on this Dragon Knight. They really need this kill early on because it goes to the Shadow Fiend as well, so that evens up the mid lane for them. Things aren't looking quite so bad now for Menace.
Indeed, they're doubling the kills of Poseidon right now, but what they do really need to be careful of is Poseidon starting to push their early advantage. I mean, Weaver's got the top tower down to half health, Dragon Knight's got the middle tower down to under half health, and there's not an awful lot of damage coming out on Poseidon's tower. Oh, wait, no. Shadow Fiend harassing the mid tower now.
We might get it, actually. Looks like Clockwork and Rubik are going up this top lane to have a little deal with this Weaver. I don't think the two of them alone can deal with him, but...
No, I don't think that's likely to... Oh, there's a Song of the Siren down the bottom.
Initiation? Or just defensive?
No, it's a defense, actually. I think Alchemist went in with a stun, but... cancelled out fairly rapidly. But, interesting use of the Song, though. That's going to be off cooldown for practically 3 minutes right now, so... they don't have that same...
Oh, Naga. No armor on you, Naga.
There, the shield removes the stun straight away.
Yeah, really good.
This is what I've been talking about with it. Ooh! That soul assumption really hurt the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, he's so goddamn squishy this early on. Actually, he's squishy forever, so...
73 HP.
Alchemist picking up a medallion early on. Oh, he's got another charged up stun, looking for something to kill. Manages to stun Naga Sign right next to him with the snare. Oh, she manages to mirror image her way out of an attack from the Visage. Oh, he's managed to get Abaddon. No ultimate for him, he's going to just melt in that middle, especially with the medallion reducing all that armor.
Weaver's here too though now, so... Yeah, Menace really taking the pain, and I think...
Oh no, Alchemist is in trouble. Got ensnared and got hit by the Illuminate. Dives behind his tower at the moment into the jungle. Try not to get picked off here. He might be alright. Yeah, pops his ultimate. He's actually going to come back and fight. He's got a stun up. They're looking for Weaver. Big stun on the Weaver. Weaver goes down. Visage claiming another kill. Oh, but Visage is in trouble too. Here's Nagasai trying to TP out. Nope. She's actually going to mirror image up and look for this kill on this goddamn Visage. He will just not die. He is dead now though. Another stun coming out. Hits Nagasai and in comes Clockwork. Cogs her in. She's taking a lot of damage. Is she going to get out of this? I don't think she is. Oh, Visage is back again. He must have brought back. Takes... Oh, and the Dragon Knight goes down as well.
Wow,
Menace really taking his early aggression that we expected out of the Russians and flip it on top of them.
What's even more interesting is that Shadow Fiend TP'd down after taking the mid tier 1 as well. Had a DD up and just hammered the mid 1 into submission, TP'd down and won the fight for his team. May even be the tier 1 down bot too.
Well, they haven't got a lot to contest it at the minute. They're TPing in. Keeper of the Light though.
Yeah, I think Poseidon are looking for a trade up top right now.
Well, Alchemist getting snared up so he can't press the tower.
Ooh.
That's a really hard diving Visage there. Just be careful. Might lose some birds. There goes a bird.
Oh, poor bird. That said, it's not going to give gold if it's not killed by a hero.
This is true. Well, yeah, Menace is doing really well now.
Alchemist really securing his lane now, sitting on 006. It goes with your theory that Alchemist gets all the assists in the game.
He doesn't pubs. He does normally get the kills in actual matches. But not this guy. He's got 6 assists instead. Just stuns up the Nagasaren, but she's a little too close to her tower for him to dive on her.
Shadow Fiend getting gone on in mid by the Dragon Knight, but hasting away.
He's got a bottle, and he's got his haste.
Indeed.
Some super aggression here. Tries to deny it, but
huge amount of damage from that Dragon Blast.
Oh, in comes the Visage now, though. Can they bring down the Dragon Knight? Nah, he's going to run off.
It's basically just a free tower for the Dragon Knight, and that's kind of what you expect from a Dragon Knight in fairness. He hits level 6 and he brings down that tower, full stop.
Interesting to see what Clockwork's up to. Rubik's not in a happy place at the minute. Manages to steal Tsukushi.
Oh, it's a good steal for him.
Good steal.
Both Dragon Knight and Abaddon forced into the jungle now, and this is something Abaddon can do very efficiently as a support, is that he can really make a lot of use of the jungle because of the Apophatic Shield, and in the same way that Keeper of the Light can, in fact, so two heroes really going to be making...
Not quite at the same speed as you can expect from a Keeper of the Light farming up. But no, it's good. True. Another pause out from the Alchemist, I'm guessing, yeah. Ping issues. Finland, sort you in now, man.
Hey, you know it's a million times better than ours.
I can't say that now, because my internet's good.
Oh, it's still better than mine.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Poseidon struggling at this point. All that early aggression they like to play with.
That said, let's look at their huge ancient stack right now. I mean, this is actually probably going to be left for the Dragon Knight, I'd imagine, instead of the Night Siren, or Dragon Knight will just do a lot of damage and kill off some of the smaller ones, because he's the only one who's going to have cleave and be able to take it out very efficiently, because that's going to do a lot of damage, that stack.
It's interesting that they didn't stack any of themselves. I mean, they've been very busy on this tri lane, so it's been difficult for them to stack it.
Actually, Menace have been stacking the hard camp in their jungle. I've seen 4 and 5 stacks in there, and they've been farming that out repeatedly with the Shadow
Trying
Fiend.
desperately to kill off this Weaver on the top, but it's just not going to happen.
If Weaver doesn't want to die, Weaver's not going to die.
He's being chased around by Sakushi Rubik, who's actually missed him.
Yeah.
He's back there.
We Sakuchi'd about a second later, so...
Very confused right now what's happening.
It's so funny watching this Rubik. Yeah, it looks like Dragon Knight's coming in to take the stack right now. He's got his level 11, so he's got the splash.
Yeah, he'll be really helping towards that Shadow Blade. And then he'll probably get some pickoffs. Lag issues.
Yeah, it's all these creeps dying. All the pathfinding issues.
Oh no, too many creeps! Surfer's just
But
dying.
people are, like, both just leeching XP off of this stack. Abaddon's hit level 6 now, so... This is the thing with Abaddon, is that once he hits level 6, you suddenly have a lot of issues against that previously squishy support.
You just have to switch focus as soon as it procs. But if you've already thrown out some abilities to pick him off, it feels like a waste. He might just be completely ignored in most team fights, but if you ignore him, then the shields are going to come up and cancel your stuns.
Indeed.
So...
I think what you really, really need against an Abaddon is a couple of really, really long stuns, because of course he can't remove the stun from himself. And if you have stuns long enough to keep him secured through the majority of his ultimate, I mean, someone like Shadow Demon or Owl Devourer, absolutely fantastic against him, because you can just imprison him and he'll just sit there perfectly happily, just burning away his ultimate.
D&D on the Dragon Knight. So yeah, I would be... They're not doing a lot in the minute Menace because they sat back. I'd be stacking this Ancient Camp for Alchemist.
Indeed. That said, he's kind of gone for the more early build, especially with this Medallion pickup, which is... To be fair, that's not something we'd see from the offlaner, but...
You normally expect it to be picked up by Visage sometime into the game.
Indeed. Maybe they should be picking it up earlier, I suppose.
Does mean, of course, that frees up a little bit of money for Visage to pick up an early gem, which helps them do ward and control the map.
I think Alchemist really wants to take this tower right now.
Alchemist always wants to take a tower. If he's not kicking something over, he's not a happy ogre.
Where?
Naga has... This Night Siren is making really, really good use of her illusions, actually. Basically using them in place of a creep wave.
This smoke up here looks like they want the Weaver.
Wow, I mean, look at his last hits right now. He's second in the game, just behind the Shadow Fiend, who's been doing repeated hard camp
They're
stacks.
going to have to try to free up the Clockwork to be able to get his hook on first. And from then on, they can really go quite hard on him.
I see the Visage bird scouting him out.
Yeah, but he's very wary at the minute. Let's do something there to deal with this.
Shadow Blade's up on the Dragon Knight right now.
Rubik stole himself Sakushi again. And they're just going to go for tower now.
Indeed. I think this is really, really wise of Menace, actually, is to just say, okay, we've got the
Weaver there, but they're going to go on him. Got a hook and a lift, and out comes the Sentry. Well, they know where he is. Clockwork's taking a lot of damage though. Down goes the tower. Here comes Dragon Knight from behind. Visage has already been picked off by him.
Clockwork's going to die to the
Abaddon, Fox's
great TP
massive wind up by the Shadow Fiend, trying to take down. Oh, the Shadow Blade though makes him go invis. Doesn't make a difference actually. He was on the Sentry Ward, but the DD really making a difference in that fight. And they lost Shadow Fiend as well.
Clockwork managed a really, really good TP away from the Weaver by cogging himself up in the jungle, but It's such a threat when someone like Dragon Knight has a double damage rune, because that's not just one hero he's hitting, he's cleaving. It's really, really painful when he's cleaving for just over 250 damage to the majority of your team.
Yeah, fortunately he was picking them up from behind, so he didn't really manage to make the most of that splash.
Indeed.
But yeah, he did pick off Visage, and of course Visage wants to float around at the back so he can save up their soul assumption. And he managed to kill Shadow Fiend, who did man up, tried his best, proc to BKB, did get the ultimate off, but just didn't do enough damage to take down the Dragon Knight. Too tanky. Talking about Shadow Blades, one's being picked up on the Alchemist, so he's going to start ready to be doing exactly the same job that Dragon Knight does.
There's an awful lot of invis in this game right now.
Yeah, gems have got to come out very soon.
Indeed, but we're seeing a Weaver with Shikuchi, a Rubik with Shikuchi, Dragon Knight and Alchemist both with Shadow Blades. It's going to happen eventually. We're going to start seeing gems come out from both sides, I'd imagine.
It's like Alchemist is going to have a little stack. He's going to stack himself because no one bothered. It's a sad
I think
day.
Naga's doing the same as well. Sad day for hard carries.
A few choice words for his support, I'm sure.
Well,
oh, invised up, looking for this Weaver, lifted, stunned out. Can they do enough damage to him? The medallion was up on as well. He just disappeared. Shadow Fiend didn't even get there quick enough to help. He just died that quickly.
This really is an issue. I mean, if you can get a stuns and disables up on the Weaver, I mean, he's made of paper. Yeah, the only reason he's so survivable is that Lincoln Sphere, which he doesn't have built yet, and Shikuchi just gets him out of any trouble at all.
Yeah, that and time lapse, but if you've been stunned up by an Alchemist who's invisible, so you can charge it to the maximum level, and has a medallion, so you're just taking extra damage from him, you're going to die so quickly, and we saw that. He went down in about 3 seconds.
Indeed. That said, once he has got his Lincolns, that's going to be impossible. You can't initiate in the same way that you can with that Alchemist.
To be fair, he was initiated on by the Rubik who lifted him first, so they probably can still do it, as long as they've got a Rubik backup.
Yeah. Dragon Knight's here to defend, and there's no better hero right now with this cleave.
No. They're still happy to farm up the enemy jungle in a minute as a 5. Probably going to look to push again.
Nagasaren's currently pushing down bottom, actually.
Yeah, just pushing pretty hard.
Indeed. Always a risk with Nagasaren with a maxed out Mirror's Image on and Snare. Actually getting called into the fight by the Keeper of the Light right now.
Yep.
Free TP score, basically.
And Chakram gives her more mana. So they're going to have to abandon this push.
Indeed.
Nice one. Rubik stole Swarm.
It's going to provide them decent enough vision, but I think I'd rather have Shikuchi, to be honest. When you...
in a team fight, man, Swarm's really, really useful.
I know, but you already have the armor reduction coming out from Alchemist Acid Spray, and you have the armor reduction now from his medallion as well.
Yeah, plus then add even more armor reduction. I mean, Dragon Knight doesn't look so tough anymore.
Indeed. I think that may actually be one of the reasons for the early medallion up, purely so they can deal with the Dragon Knight an awful lot easier.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, it allows them obviously to gank other people, but the extra armor it gives you before you activate it is going to be really useful for Alchemist, who's under a lot of pressure like he was on that lane. So,
well, I think it's worth noting is that another good reason for the medallion is that
Shadow Fiend wasting Abaddon's ultimate there.
There is actually 4 heroes.
TP out here. Oh, that's got very close to dying.
There's 4 heroes up from Poseidon right now with really, really high armor levels. You've got Weaver, who's an agility carry. You've got Abaddon, who's just built like a brick shit house. You've got Naga, who's another agility carry. And you've got Dragon Knight with his passive.
What?
I think
Keeper of Light's gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Ooh,
Forced out of cogs by Keeper of Light, and now going to be picked off by the Nagasaren. So almost got cold, but not quick enough.
Oh. Really good play by the Poseidon team there, rotating in to try and save their support.
We were talking about armor reduction. Of course, the Shadow Fiend's passive, of course, adds to that as well. So it's not going to be a lot of armor. I mean, this frontline tank Dragon Knight at the moment, armory, is very armory. He's very tanky. But should they get the medallion up on him and be near Shadow Fiend, suddenly all that tankiness is...
Looking for Roshan right now.
Yeah.
Is this just going to go in and spot it out?
And they can test this at the minute. They probably can if they want to.
That cleave hurts those visage birds so well, so hard. I think the big thing is that Alchemist needs to initiate with a really, really solid stun in there. But he's 5 seconds away from getting his ultimate, so really doesn't want to be fighting when Chemical Rage isn't up.
No, he's one of those heroes that struggles without his ultimate up.
Indeed. That said, the time between it being up is very, very short normally.
Yeah. Probably what's going to get nerfed when they do nerf him.
Yeah.
It's coming. You know it's coming.
I imagine he'll be spending as much time out of the ultimate as he will be in it. Well, I suppose he does that near enough right now. It's got a duration of 25 seconds and a cooldown of 45, so... You might see its cooldown buff to a minute or something.
Oh god, I hope not.
Your poor Alchemist.
Poor Aoki. We love Aoki.
Yeah.
He's so much fun. But yeah, at the minute it's kind of a standoff.
Yeah, not a lot of aggression happening recently outside of the clockwork engagement, but...
Well, they knew they went for Roshan, so I mean the next big fight might be at this Roshan, and that's gonna...
I'm pretty sure it will be.
Yeah.
Not currently farming up a really, really nice stack from in the Poseidon jungle, but...
That being said, Weaver just got melted on the bottom lane when he's trying to push out and get some farm.
It's always a risk to be on your own in a game like this, and Lincoln's just not quite enough if it gets popped by a Grave Chill first. They did have to use Dust to get the kill though, because if you're not going to start out with the Unstable Concoction, and that's the risk, because of the Lincoln Sphere,
Yeah.
you need to get another support in vision range, which means you need to carry Dust to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, he's just going to get, he's just going to shoot you away, so...
Precisely. But they've been executing their ganks on this Weaver really well so far.
Interesting note, Alchemist also going for an Assault Curious, and of course this does have a passive armor penalty applied to heroes around it, so Poseidon have 0 armor. If they're in a fight, they have 0 armor. I'm not going to be surprised to see Shadow Fiend pick up a Desolator. Let's put it that way.
Minus armor strat, yo.
Yeah. The big issue is with like this really, really heavy minus armor is that there's only so much armor you can take away.
Well, not really. You take away the armor. Oh, there's been a DC for Rubik in the meantime, but yeah, the more you reduce, the more extra physical damage you do. So,
well, no, there's no bonus. I mean, once it's 0, it's 0.
no, it goes into minuses.
Yeah, but it doesn't have any.
It does increase physical damage.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wow, I really don't know my Dota.
I mean, now you're making me wonder if I know what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that it does affect it in that way. Which is why the Medallion is such a great pickup, even if the enemy you're attacking doesn't have that much armor to begin with.
I was pretty sure it just dropped to 0 and stayed at 0. But never mind, I'll defer to your judgment.
We have a pause, go and look it up, and you can tell me how wrong I am.
Okie doke.
But yeah, another problem for the internet here for the Finnish team. I mean, they've had lag for the village, lag for the alchemist, and now they're Rubik's DC'd.
Well, you know about wooden PCs, so in the middle of a Finnish forest, you can't really get the best internet connection, I suppose.
Oh well, yeah, but they're against Russians, you know. So they have wooden PCs too, right?
Yeah, true.
It's how the Winter War was
Yep,
fought.
you are correct. Units with negative armor take increased physical damage.
Oh yeah, you owe me cake.
No, I don't.
That's how we work. Every time I'm right and you're wrong, you have to get me more cake.
That's not.
It's how it's gonna work. So just deal with it.
But yeah, with minus 5 armor, they're going to be taking an extra 26.6% damage. So I suppose it really does stack up when you have this much minus armor on a team.
They're gonna be like minus 20. It's gonna take so much extra damage, and with a right clicker like Alchemist with his attack speed, it's gonna do a ridiculous amount of damage. It's gonna be really difficult for Poseidon. I mean, they wanted to be pushing down shit right now. It's 26 minutes in.
It's finished right now. It was interesting to note that you said minus 20. Minus 20 is actually the maximum value of minus you can go to without having any effect, and that's plus 71% physical damage.
So much damage.
So that's practically being on a DD.
You can right click Cottle down in about 3 hits with that. And Alchemist hits like 3 times every second. So
yeah.
going to be really big. Yeah, but Poseidon's push strat, or at least what we thought was a push strat, has been kind of completely denied by the way Menace played. And
Indeed.
every time this Weaver tries to split push, he's now got it in the back of his mind, is it worth it? Because he's been ganked.
I do want to point out, though, is that, I mean, we talked about the split push strat, but they still have an awful lot of late game potential right now. And
The Nog
I think
Siren.
you see, the Alchemist is always, he is the most powerful late game hero, but he's gone for a really, really early game build. He's not picked up a Midas, he went for the Medallion of Courage instead, and I really think the Nagasari, the Weaver, and the Dragon Knight are all going to start to take their toll.
Well, Naga's definitely going for the split push, and I mean, she's picked up a Reaver, which you know, suggests going for a Heart Tarask. And that's why it was so hard to kill off her bloody illusion system a minute ago. He was actually putting the medallion on the illusions to kill them off.
Well, this basically means that she's going to be filling in as kind of a mini PL.
A PL, but with boobs, so
PL,
a better version. The real her is actually on the bottom lane at the minute. There's a lot of nothing happening at the minute.
Indeed. We're actually seeing the Alchemist really, really behind on last hits, being beaten out by the Weaver, the Dragon Knight, and the Naga Siren, but Shadow Fiend topping the charts.
As far as net worth goes, though, he is second, so all is good in the world of Alchemist.
Well, he's been picking up an awful lot of kills, so always starts adding up.
And he had enough of being assist master. He's going for the kills now.
Got him.
No more support Alchemist.
Sitting on 206 right now, so not that many more since we last saw him. Oh, looks like there might be another Roshan attempt, but it's been spotted out by the Clockwork players, and I think they're probably going to disengage.
Steal on the Rubik, managing to get Brief Fire.
It's a really good spell steal, actually. I mean, it's 300 damage in a really large AoE.
Gives him 2 nukes, though, AoE, so...
No, it basically combines it to do about 600 AoE damage.
Not to mention Fadebolt's reduction to your own damage, so... And then what's essentially going to be a right-click fight with this Alchemist, who's making his way here. They want to take Roshan, but they're so afraid of this fight. Oh,
Dragon Knights.
He's
Invis up.
He's going to come out of Invis to murder some birds.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'll probably get both the birds right now.
No, they look like they're going to back entirely because... Oh, they're stunned up on the Shadow Fiend right here. Does he pops his Manta stun? No, it's an illusion.
Song of the Siren
No
up.
fun, Naga wants to pull out right now. And no, they do. Stun coming up on the Clockwork, but the fight's very all over the place and no one's really fully committing to it.
Players here.
Very weird fight right there.
Whispered's stunned up and forced off the way so he doesn't get hit by Illuminate. Should probably stop sitting in that acid spray, Dragon Knight.
I don't really give a shit, does he? I mean, it's composite damage at the end of the day. It basically means that
the Dragon Knight's spotting out there. They're going to pick off this Shadow Fiend. Unless, of course, he pops his BKB. Up comes his BKB. Is he going to wind up? No, he hasn't got it. Having a fight here with this Weaver. Weaver's very, very dead.
Alchemist was all but dead. Is Borrow Time actually popping and managing to get out there alive? But
oh, Abaddon, why you no die? But they got the kill on the Weaver, which
could be a roast right now then.
Yeah.
Without the Weaver's damage, I think they're really going to struggle inside this pit.
As long as they pick off these goddamn Naga Sirens.
Dire's middle tower is under
His
attack.
ulti is down for this Roche fight right now. Cole charging up a big Illuminate. But is it going to be enough to stop him? I don't think it is.
Radiant's bottom tower is
So
under
pretty much a
attack.
free Roshan going down to Menace, so
Their names in history.
Indeed, a hard-earned free Roshan
has
though.
fallen.
So
yeah.
probably going to look to do some pressure on this mid-tier 2 now, but no, actually I'm to farming about. I think they need to make some pressure now they have this Aegis, because the longer this game goes on, the tougher and tougher this Naga split push is going to be.
I mean, she's quite close to that heart right now. Very close to that heart. I should save it for buyback, which will be a little bit later, but still, they do need to capitalise on this, yeah.
Visage's birds are actually down for 60 seconds right now. He's still got one alive, but...
Quite a long cooldown, as it should be. Yeah, Nagasaren finishes off her Heart Tarask.
This is going to be really, really nasty now. I mean, we saw it during TI that Loda picked up the Phantom Lancer and went for a double Heart Tarask build, and the illusions were basically immortal. They took more... They were taking as much damage as the Alchemist was taking to kill.
They have like 4,000 HP or something stupid, isn't it?
Yeah. And even if they were taking double damage, it just wasn't enough.
Here comes the push from mid. Waiting for the creep wave, but of course the creep wave can keep being wiped out by the Cottle, which makes it so good at defending.
Naga Siren's not here. I don't know whether she's going to choose to keep on the split push, as well as she's going to be called back by the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, there's always a callback, so... Alchemist wants it, but he can't because they fought it. They definitely get it though. Just shrugs off the Illuminate, he gives no shit.
They can almost...
TP down bottom here.
Oh, stopping the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, they're double split pushing. Alchemist is here to stop you having fun, Naga Siren.
They aren't actually real Naga Sirens. You should just kill them, Alchemist, and get it over with.
I think he knows they're not real.
He's getting chased by them.
Yeah, but the more they're doing that, the less damage they're doing to his tower. Catapult, on the other hand.
A reasonable amount of damage.
Why is the familiar not attacking the catapult? Now it is.
Oh yeah. So yeah. It looks like Poseidon are content to all sit in mid right now, and this is really bad. I mean, they know where all of Menace's heroes are. They need to be making use of the farm they have available to them, which admittedly isn't that much right now, but we only see Naga Siren in the jungle with illusions, so...
These Radiant Wards every time, making sure they can see them when they're stacking the camps.
Indeed.
Alchemist is probably going to steal them at some point, if he can get a chance. At the minute though, he's up with Visage, going to look to push the top.
I said 4 of them looking here to guard
the... They might actually go on Naga Siren if they can do. Oh, pops the stun, he's going to stun himself! Visage Bird's going to stun her up. No?
Oh, yeah, apparently you don't stun yourself if it goes off within song, but
no.
Clockwork's here.
Clockwork's here though, yeah. He's got Aghanim's now, so he can just use that hook whatever he likes.
Naga was trying to cast her Riptide or her Mirror Image, or one of her spells right there, and the mini stuns from Clockwork's Battery Assault completely negated it. She couldn't cast a single ability because of her animation. So
yeah, first tier 2 going down on the top now, and they might even go for Rax from this.
Yeah.
Is that just a cancelled TP? Yeah. The Alchemist. Whoopsie.
Oh,
Clockwork comes in on the Abaddon, gets blasted out of there by Cole though.
Oh, Weaver!
What's Weaver doing in there, man? Weaver is very dead. Alchemist doesn't have his ult up at the minute, he needs to be quite careful. Though he does have Aegis, so... Oh, he just wail on this tower. Tower down, going for the racks here. Did they do anything? Apparently not. Dragon Knight's run out of his dragon form as well. Stun coming out, hitting the Dragon Knight. He's going to be chased down by the rest of the team while Alchemist works on these racks.
The sky is falling.
Really good choice there, and really good play getting these racks. They're going to have to back now, Naga Siren.
So close, but the creeps might be able to finish it off. In comes Rubik with one more right click, desperately trying to finish off that ranged racks, but no, it survives and very slowly.
It can be backdoored at some stage at the end of the day, and the wave's now going to push out really nicely with the melee racks down, so fantastic play there by Menace.
Actually leaving it alive might, you know, cause them to defend it more than they would if they'd lost the racks entirely, so...
Exactly.
But yeah, Menace just, you know, they're sitting on this advantage and they're using it to kind of just bring down towers. They took a racks, and there's very little answer from Poseidon right now.
Well, the big thing is that they do have the Naga Siren who's always going to be pushing. They have Weaver who's also fantastic on the split push, and the same with Dragon Knight. The big issue with the Dragon Knight though is that he's now level 16. Well, past level 16, but that means his dot no longer affects the towers. It's only got the slow on it now, and doesn't have that same edge at pushing the way he normally does. He can still kill off the creeps.
Now he's doing considerably more damage though, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
I suppose balances out. There's the Abyssal Blade up already on the Alchemist right now.
Yeah, if he wants to kill somebody, they're definitely gonna die.
Yeah.
Still got my Aegis as well. I mean, how long's left on it? How long's on the timer?
Right away.
Yeah, it's looking good. Still got a few minutes left on the Aegis.
Ooh.
Well, 30
Dragon
seconds.
Pushing out Invis down bot, so...
In comes a hook again, manages to get Weaver, he's trapped in there again. Song of the Siren comes out to protect him. He's on the edge of it though, why is Siren not getting closer? Oh, no, Mackie come in, they're going to turn this fight around now. Instead coming up on the Clockwork, he four-staffs himself out though. Oh dear, Clockwork so close to death, they couldn't get him. Weaver very close as well, but manages to stay alive. Alchemist really deep, but no kills. They're probably going to back out of this now, knowing the Aegis has just disappeared.
Yeah. Kind of a risk for them now to stay on pushing without this Aegis. I mean, if they have the Aegis, Alchemist can afford to just bull rush up that high ground and do as much damage as he can, but without it, if they lose him, they're really going to have to seriously consider buying back to defend their towers from counter push, and he doesn't have the buyback, so...
He's happy to just sit here and farm.
2 4-staffs up from Poseidon right now.
No, one's on the Rubik.
Oh, no, yeah, it's on, yeah, Menace, yeah, sorry.
Poseidon comes out, manages to hit Dragon Knight, not doing enough damage. Alchemist getting stunned up, but have they got the follow-up to deal with him? No, he gets forced out by his team. They're probably going to think about backing
Glorious
out.
doing a double 4-staff right now.
Yeah. They could even get a triple one if they're going to pick one up on Visage as well.
Yeah.
Alchemist is going to go down bottom and farm up.
Indeed. Shadow Fiend's going to find a double damage rune.
That's going to be good for his bowl. This will really help their next push if he can keep it. I don't know if they'll be pushing him in the next 2 minutes, but if they do, it's going to be a really big boost for his team.
It's actually worth noting that Shadow Fiend is about 700 gold off picking up a butterfly as well.
Yeah.
And this means is this previously very, very mid-game orientated hero in the Shadow Fiend is going to be doing an awful lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's also it's like it negates Weaver and Naga and Dragon Knight, who are right-click heroes at essence.
Yeah.
So, and that mischance is gonna, or evasion chance even, is gonna make him a lot more tanky in these fights, especially when he uses BKB as well. I mean, there's going to be very little damage coming out from him, and they have to focus him quite heavily. And if you're focusing with Shadow Fiend, you're not focusing the goddamn Alchemist, who's busy smashing everything you love into tiny, tiny pieces.
I think it's well known that you pointed out they were going to be forced to defend top, and they'd defend it more and by the fact they had the 1 racks, and that seems to be what happened. Weaver is, I think, trying to farm up on this top lane, but these creeps are only giving half gold right now because of their being mega melee creeps.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame for him because he hasn't really got going, Weaver.
No.
I mean, as Weaver, you can't afford to die, like, ever. As far as I know, Weaver, you don't want to die in any fight.
Sitting on 151 right now, so that goal not quite being achieved.
I mean, what items has he got at the minute? Nothing. I think might be building a Desolator with the Mithril Hammer being picked up.
I'd imagine that to be the case with the Alchemist in play with the Assault Curious. And there's the Butterfly up.
Yeah, they've got a lot of farm on this at the minute. I mean, they've got Visage's birds, he's got 3 of them. In comes Clockwork, actually looking to go on this Dragon Knight. He got his BKB up, but the right clicks are going to do a hell of a lot of damage. Alchemist comes in, throws a big stun out, manages to hit up on the coal, far back behind the thingy. Oh dear, it looks like. Oh, anti-fun again. Buyback from the Dragon Knight. They might look to go back in.
Look to fight this.
TP in by the Dragon Knight. Comes out into Dragon form. They've ensnared up the Shadow Fiend, but he throws out that ultimate and he's doing a lot of damage, but they can't kill him at the minute.
He hasn't even popped his Satanic yet, so...
No, he doesn't even need it. Oh, a lot of damage on that Weaver. He's just manning up against the entire team right now. He's taking a hell of a lot of damage now. He's going to have to be careful. In comes the Alchemist. Big stun up on the Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight just melts. They're going after this Naga Siren as well. Cottle gets completely wiped out. Naga's on the run, and
we've forced to run away from the Shadow Fiend as well. This is another lane of racks, and Dragon Knight does not have buyback. Abaddon does not have buyback, and Keeper of the Light do not have buyback. So
it's going to be all up to this tiny little Weaver, and he's going to be able to do very little. So yes, it's going to be a full set of racks, I imagine.
Indeed.
Best Naga can do something which you really can't. Birds are going to give chase.
It's like the Winter War all over again. Finland versus Russia.
Only with less Molotov cocktails. Actually going to leave the bird to deal with that. They're going to go for the mid-racks. It looks like they are. Alchemist doing so much damage at this moment.
Visage picked off.
Yeah, Visage got picked off. He buys back.
Alchemist just manning up on the rack.
Manning up again. I think he just completely mashed Cottle. It's looking so poor for Poseidon right now. Stun comes up and procs the Lincoln Sphere on the Weaver, and this Alchemist is just wailing all over the place. Down goes the Weaver as well.
Crazy, crazy Alchemist.
They're just too strong with this Alchemist and Shadow Fiend together.
Yeah.
Oh, goodbye Weaver. He's down again. Did he just buy back for that?
The creep come out.
And here are the GGs. Menace taking this game against Poseidon quite comfortably, actually.
The underdogs taking it.
Well, you call them the underdogs, but they are the sponsored team.
Yeah, true. Wow. Don't forget that this is Poseidon is basically 3 of Virtus Pro, who were at the international this year, and right in the dark, a very small team, so great win for them, and I think both teams played incredibly well.
Yeah, the Alchemist, 5 kills, 0 deaths, 13 assists, GPM of 592, despite having a very bad start, people would argue. So, yeah, did his job.
He didn't have the worst start, he didn't die, and he picked off assists and kills on lane, so... More of an aggressive build and less with the Midas, but it paid off, so what can you say?
Yeah, good game for him, man. Well, we're going to go back to playing some music while we wait for the next match, which will be Menace up against Aspera, I believe.
Indeed.
So we'll go to that, and you guys can enjoy that instead.